When your favorite board game of all time gets the card game treatment, you gotta review it. Hey everyone, Kylie here at Games Unlimited. I am super excited today. Many of you know that my all-time favorite board game is War of the Ring. Now, I'm always hesitant. People say, like, what's your favorite game? And I'll explain to them what it is, but I also explain it's not for everybody. In fact, it's not even a game for me. I'm not a war gamer. I play almost no other games that could be classified as war games, but I'm such a huge Tolkien fan, and War of the Ring is just such an epic retelling of the story. Every time I play it, new things happen. I still talk about things that have happened years ago playing that game, so I just love it. Now, when they announced that they were doing a card game version of it, I was super excited, very skeptical, but one of the things that excited me is that I hoped that this could capture the feeling of War of the Ring, but be more accessible to people who maybe don't necessarily like war games. So, I'm here today to talk about War of the Ring, the card game. Spoiler alert, short story, I do love it. Now, what this is doing is retelling the story of the War of the Ring from the moment Frodo leaves the Shire with the ring to the moment he either dunks it in Mordor or the forces of Sauron and the evil forces of the world manage to corrupt him or capture enough free people civilizations. So, it uses a lot of the same artwork, including the amazing artwork from John Howe, as the board game. It's also a rather lengthy game. You're looking at probably 2 hours to really complete a full session of this game. But it does capture the spirit and the story of that conflict very, very well. So one of the big differences, while War of the Ring, the board game, is a 2-player game, ideally, this is a 4-player game, ideally. And it manages to capture something really cool in that one of the Free People's players is pretty much concerned with moving the ring with the Fellowship getting to Mordor, while the other one is worrying about the warfare and things like that. And of course, the 2 different factions of Sauron and Saruman also have their own play style and goals. But what's going to happen is each round a new battleground is going to come up. So that is a place that we're fighting over, and a new path is going to come up. That's where the Fellowship is going. Now, both battlegrounds and paths are worth points for whoever ends up capturing them at the end of the round. So battlegrounds have a set number of points, and they start with ones that they belong to one side. The defender already has them. So if you want to take those points away from the defender, you're going to have to apply strength to take it. They might apply defense to try and keep it. The path, on the other hand, will be worth a certain number of points if the Free People's player manages to control it at the end. But if the enemy player, the shadow players, manage to have more sort of attack, they call it corruption, then the Free People's player has defense, they're going to get points equal to that difference. So while the Free Peoples have a limited amount of points they can get from that path, the enemy can really get infinite amount of points. If they know they've got it, they can lock in and throw a bunch of corruption on it. So it could be worth 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, who knows how much corruption when it's all said and done. You're going to do this by playing cards. Each person on their turn can play a card either to their reserve, so sort of keeping it in reserve. Some things have more powerful effects when they're in reserve, or putting it out on a path or a battleground, and then moving along to the next player. What's very interesting, and one of the things that this does different than the board game, is that almost every card has the potential to see play more than once. So in the board game, if you draw a card and it's not the right time for it, you're never going to see it again. In this one, every card you play, you have to pay for it by discarding another card. But you're going to discard, it's called cycling, you're going to discard it to a pile that you will shuffle and reuse again. So that card that right at this moment isn't useful, you'll be able to see it again later in the game. Of course, all the characters and locations are very iconic. There's a lot of theme to where things go. So certain characters, the paths are divided into 9 steps. There's 3 different locations for each step. But certain creatures, certain characters can only go on paths of certain steps. So for example, Galadriel is only going to be helpful as far as the path is concerned. She's helpful in other ways. If you're on path 5, all of path 5 is concerned with Lothlorien and the areas around that. So you really have to make this distinction. The other thing that's fascinating is characters that you use in battles and then in path. When that's done, they generally don't go back to your discard pile. They're gone. They're out of the game. You've used that character. They've sacrificed himself. Gimli went in to protect the Fellowship, and he's gone for the rest of the game. unless you have some special thing that will allow them to not get exiled, not get destroyed, not die, and then they can come back. All the hobbits generally do that. So Merry and Pippin and Frodo, they keep coming back over and over again to help on the path. I have to say, I was skeptical, so I didn't mention it. The way it works is at the end of the game, which will go 9 rounds at most, it might go less, whichever side has the most points wins. And that felt kind of, when I read about it, anticlimactic, like, because in the board game, it's like, oh, you're going to get down there. Is someone going to get to that 10th point? Is Frodo going to drop the ring in Mordor? But in actual play, it's very climactic, often because the score is so close. The game has a swing. It starts off very much in favor of the Free Peoples. The first couple of rounds, the Free Peoples are going to get a lot of points, but then the balance is going to shift, and the Shadows are going to have a lot more armies. They're able to do a lot more things in the latter half of the game, and most of the games I've played, it's come right down to the wire. We're neck and neck going into the last round. Sometimes the Shadow player can just blow through everything. They have so many armies they can use at the end. They generally have more card draw than the Free People's Flair, so you really feel that sense of asymmetry. Like I said, it's designed for 4, can be played with 2 or 3, has a couple of different variations for 2, including a short learning game. They say this is a game you can play when you're short on time. I recommend that as a learning game. You really got to play the full game to see the full arc of it. So that is War of the Ring, the card game. Is it going to replace the board game for me? No, but I do like some of the different things that this has. I'm looking forward to expansions that will add some more characters that aren't in there. Definitely worth checking out, especially if you're a Tolkien fan. Maybe you've been off-put by the board game because, like I said, it is a big board game. It's not for everybody. Give the card game a try. It is fantastic. I'm Kylie at Games Unlimited. Come on down, ask us about it, check it out, take a copy home, unbox some fun.